Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we're back to Detention. There may not be that much more game here, or there may be a whole nother act, and you're not hearing things. There is a creepy static sound effect and whispers of imperceptible humans speaking. So, yeah, at the last episode we've learned pretty much it seems like that the character we're playing as is completely pretty bad, and she was being bullied. I mean, that is just kind of the default excuse that you can apply to anyone who acts out, but we haven't seen any evidence of her really being bullied or any evidence of her really being crazy. It really does seem like she pretty much just betrayed a bunch of people, a bunch of students and her teacher, by turning them in as communists and potentially got them shot or shot them herself. Uh, but yeah, we've yet to see any redeeming qualities or backstory that seems to even slightly justify her actions. There does seem to be this whole desire amongst her to live her life the way she wants to live, and certainly in 1960s Taiwan, as a female, she probably had a acute awareness that she wasn't going to be able to live her life the way she wanted to. They talked about her mother getting a dowry when she was married, and she seems to really not claim her father as her father, um, which very possibly he isn't her biological father. So she may very well be constrained by society, constrained by anti-Chinese propaganda and hysteria, um, and be constrained by potentially knowing she's potentially just going to have to get married off. Hmm. Yeah. So we're walking to the end here. I kind of feel like we should run into the monster, and instead of the monster just chasing us, it should tell us why we're evil. Notice how the screen is zooming in more. Hmm. A radio. Seems like the static in the room is coming from this. Maybe I can get something if I turn it a bit. Well, it doesn't seem like we can tune it. Doesn't seem like it really spins. Hmm. The atmosphere in the room's changed. Interesting. So this might be a multi-dimensional puzzle where as we change the radio, we go to different worlds. So yeah, this was what this her mother got as a dowry, was this piece of furniture. And we only have a couple of things we can click on and interact with. So we're not back to this room, to our room, looking at the same things again. We've got a piggy bank. Very much a not very rounded piggy bank. Ceramic piggy bank, big round eyes, waiting to be fed. We don't even have our necklace here. And I've kind of forgotten about the whole journal aspect. See if we can walk through the door. Someone's home. So, this is the mother and father crying, and maybe I'm dead, and maybe we're saying that I'm dead. I missed the door before, so I assume we're gonna start traveling using the radio to different locations and flashing around. I feel like mom's always been a traditional housewife. She doesn't even complain when wronged. I really don't like that. Remember, it's also the mother that was constantly laying down all of our troubles to deities and not really getting any emotional support or help from living or humans. She was praying to God, and God was not really responding to him, praying to her God or a God. Um, the husband, I don't think, is being very helpful. There's no way to go into the past anymore. That's an odd response because it almost implies that there was a way to go into the past before, and maybe I've done something here. Back then, besides the New Year's, Dad never drank at home. I missed the days when he had jokes and stories to tell. Alright, let's go this way and see where this is going to lead. So there's a door in the foreground here, and then there's pictures. And I guess these are supposed to be pictures of ancestors, although these pictures definitely feel more like a combination puzzle of my potential victims, a glass juice cup, which I can't pick up, and some pictures. The eyes flickered red. Pictures of Mom, Dad, and I. The eyes have been rubbed off. And oddly, I can't spin these around. So if we turn off the lights, we can see a bleeding eyes from her, and then just slashes here. I don't know if these are supposed to be numbers or symbols or what, but by doing that, now we have a juice cup. It glows with dull melancholy. So we have a new puzzle item. Filled with sadness, it has a dim glow. And we don't have the necklace. The door is locked. A strange quote on the door. Meet the right person at the right time. That seems to be the plan. That's spooky. Certainly, I think that worked as a kind of jump scare. And I imagine we're not supposed to just feed this with sadness. That wouldn't really make a lot of sense. Okay. If I go one way, I'm going upward. If I go... I'm trying to see if I can go the other way. Back to like that. Yes, I can. Let's go and save. Let's see what's behind this door. An old door. The door is locked. Good to know. Alright, so I have to find the right spot to grab, which is harder than it seems. And I assume if you're going to be static, you're going to be static in this area always. So by default, you end up there. Okay. This should probably put us somewhere different. Seems like it's going to be different instances of inside your house. Now the pig is upside down and is broken. The ceramic piggy bank broken up for one's desires. I don't see anything to grab here, though. So we'll have to probably put something there. And oddly, the desk is right side up, but nothing else is. And instead of just taking us to the same room, we seem to now be going somewhere else. Now, weirdly, I see some footprints here that are slowly fading away in the water, so I think there's an invisible ghost. There's a puddle of clear water on the ground. I don't know how to handle an invisible ghost, so my guess is to probably jump through the doors as quickly as possible. Too dark to see anything. Okay. So I guess we just have to try every door. Maybe there was a different sound effect there. Maybe we pour this in here. Ah, I see. Now what we do. So it may not be that there was a ghost, per se, that we could even die from. It's we needed to turn off the lights so we could see the luminescent footprints to the right paths. Ah. Tricky little puzzle. I could see some players definitely getting stuck around that. Or thinking that it was sound effects that you were listening for, or something else. Unfortunately, there's a fairly high level of safety in this game. It doesn't seem like you can really game over or lose a lot of progress. I don't know what the syringes are all about either. Like, unless the implication here is that the character we're playing as not only betrayed a bunch of people, but then also got into drugs. A note on the floor. Ad for a private investigator. Husband cheating, coming home late. We specialize in tracking people. This looks like an eye for a PI firm. Let's see. Is this door locked? No. Although I probably should just go through everything. Like I just said, this game is relatively safe, so I should just be investigating everything. So I can see there sideways. Back then, lying in bed, I could hear Mom and Dad chatting through the walls. They had such a bond to back. I didn't know when their idle chatting turned to deafening silence. Later, Dad only came home when he got roaring drunk. Mom always huddled in the corner trying to hide her tears. Yep. Same thing if you click on both people. This is definitely one of those narratives where the kid thinks everything in the world is their fault. It's oddly sideways here, though. The bed is up against the wall, but nothing else is rotated like that. Here we have a clock that we need to set, but we don't have any of the objects we would need. And we can't turn off the light this time. It's not completely untrue to say that a lot of couples' relationships do start to fall apart as soon as they have a kid, or as soon as that kid turns into an angsty teenager. Arguably, those relationships just weren't going to last the amount of time, and it may have more to do with how long they've been together and less to do with the actual kid. But it's not easy being a parent, to say the least, and most people are not qualified for it. It's a kind of silly system, in fact, to have people who are completely untrained and unqualified be parents, when perhaps a nanny system or boarding schools, if done right, which I've never seen a boarding school done right yet, might be a smarter idea. The teacher's desk, on it is plenty of assignment papers. We still have the journal. What are we looking for? Like, I don't think we click on every single... We're supposed to click on every single drawer. So there's oddly nothing in that room. So either we missed something here in this room, which it kind of feels like there'd be something here, but I guess not. So this creates a weird situation where we walk back through this door, and that just automatically got us back to the beginning here. Alright, so to the next timeline we go. I imagine there's maybe 2 more. And this does not work particularly well. This shows kind of an indie gameplay mechanic that they're trying to figure out how do you make a spinning dial and make that really make sense. And not quite getting it to work. Okay, so there is absolutely nothing here at the end. We've gone all the way to the edge. Oh, this is the true nightmare of this game is bad dial turn mechanics. It would be interesting if it turned out that you can't turn back once you've entered an area. But I don't believe that really to be the case. Maybe we'll open up more areas with the radio. Because 2 seems kind of small. It's interesting how the game has these question marks to kind of really point you towards things that are important. There's no way to go into the past anymore. Still doesn't quite make sense. I can't see anything out the window. What else could this be? Door's locked. Strange call on the door. Meet the right person in the right time. Okay. Oh, so maybe I'm just supposed to adjust the clocks in the other time to these patterns. That must be it. The way you would fix this definitely is you would have a preset jump option. Alright. So what I didn't check was if I could change these clocks. Maybe I can. Yes, I can. I didn't pay quite enough attention there. Yeah, as far as paying attention to which was the long and which was the short, I didn't pay enough attention. So I'm going to have to assume that this is right and hope that that's perfectly right. 3 clocks. None of them are running, but it looks like you can turn the hands. And we have a lot of sound effects, but it really is just ambient music that's, I don't think, has anything to do with what's going on. One would hope that it's fairly generous here and I don't have to have it on the exact dot, because it's totally possible. Like, these two people haven't changed. And it seems like they've kind of given up on ghosts. And this is back to the school. And this just feels like this is something more. It's weirdly, you're walking slower. Also, the right click holding your breath isn't working anymore. So, we may just be done with ghosts. Alright. Come on. These Taiwanese songs are both kind of annoying because they're from the 1960s and because they're Taiwanese and probably very traditional Taiwanese. Alright. That looks right. Certainly short and then going downward. But the spin is wrong, isn't it? So if we rotated the picture, let's just look at what the time should be. It should be 6:45 over here, and it should be 2 o'clock, I guess, over here. 6:45 and 2 o'clock. I didn't spin the portraits. Feels like there probably should have been a hint there to see the time from the right perspective or something like that, using the phrase perspective. So 6:45 and 2 o'clock. If we are getting the backstory this late, that also implies to me there might be more game here than I thought. Alright. No real indication if I did that right. Hmm. 6:45, 2 o'clock. That feels right. And it feels like something should change in this room when I set that correctly. Is it possible that you're supposed to set only one of the clocks and not both of the clocks? So she broke it because she wanted money, I guess. Now that we think we've set the time right, let's double check to make sure there aren't any other stations that unlocked. Let's go back this way. I can't go any further that direction. I don't even think it's necessary to save. Still haven't gotten a hammer or anything for that. See, the dripping downward on the eyes doesn't mean anything to me. 645 is correct. If this was spilled, what's this supposed to mean? What's this supposed to mean? 2 o'clock seems to be right. Maybe 1 o'clock would be, I guess, the only other thing I could speculate and try. And 1 o'clock is about the only thing I could think of. It's clearly 6:45. Is there something in the stations we're dialing? We're getting at about 89 for this station. And 94 for this station. 89, 94. Doesn't mean anything to me. I'm glad they are letting you skip that extra puzzle, though that would have been very annoying. Just once again, we're in that problem where the point-and-click adventure game has turned into a point-and-click adventure game, and you've had difficulty spikes, or I've had difficulty spikes figuring out what is supposed to be going on. Yeah. 1, it was the answer. And then that zoomed out, and we can't zoom back in. And now we're hearing bells play. And now we have underwear, fancy garments all over the place. Which I don't know if that means anything unless they're going to imply that the daughter was somehow aware of the father cheating or was sleeping with the father. Seems like it's unconnected to her and her story, really. Like, the father cheating certainly would affect her, but the bedroom being covered in or soiled or dishonored is something I don't think she would care directly about as much. One day Dad came home inebriated and tripped at the front door. I couldn't stand seeing him on the ground all the time, so I went over to give him a hand. Besides the stench of smoke, there was another smell, a faint smell of powdered makeup. So it does seem like she caught him cheating, or she thinks she caught him cheating. But this is an odd way to depict it. Because you could certainly interpret the scene also as just, this is all the mother's clothing. Or even that he was into cross-dressing. So I guess the question comes down to, did she hire a PI guy and expose the father for cheating and break up her family? And is that just another bad thing this character did? There's still nothing in this room. This really does feel like this will be the final place we end up. That probably is a transition area back. Still not sure what the deal with the syringes are, unless the mother killed herself with drugs after the father's infidelity was exposed. Okay. Now that the bells are playing, we'll see if there's another station, and there isn't. So, probably need to go back to this time frame. Maybe we'll get money from the private investigator and get money for the private investigator from the piggy bank. Now that all of the heads are right side up, we have a door that we can go through. And any semblance at this point of reality is out the window. Although, I guess that's been out the window for a while now, if we think about it. Monsters walking around, somewhat believable, but traveling through time, and monsters walking around, really not so much. And now traveling to ethereal planes. Or ephemeral planes. I don't know what the right word there would be. Go back to slow walking for a cutscene. It's a teacher. It's a student or a teacher. I received your paper plane. I was truly worried you were still having trouble at home, but it looks like my concern was slightly unfounded. Like the white daffodil, you are innocent, vain, and candid in nature. Perched beside a pond of Snow White, admiring your reflection. Yeah, it seems like what's going to happen here is she may end up being propositioned by this teacher. This feels sleazy, but maybe in Taiwanese this makes more sense. Or maybe this is just her own hallucination and imagination that she wished a teacher would say something like that to her. It's not unheard of for a schoolgirl to wish for a teacher to see her as a woman and have a romantic desire. Being different from others can be a tough way to live, but I think I can understand that feeling. You said you want to learn more about my time abroad. All I can say right now is that my past is rather complicated. Unfortunately, many horrible things have happened on this land in the last decade. I guess that tells us, if this is in the 1960s, that the war happened in the 1950s with Taiwan and China. I guess. This is where Maybe I should have looked up some Taiwanese history before playing the game, but I guess it probably doesn't matter. Believe it or not, our society wasn't always like this, oppressive and cold. Perhaps we should take a stroll down the boulevard on the weekend. There are things our censored textbooks don't mention, but are definitely worth knowing. I would say definitely part of the problem with doing censorship, um, though, is if people are aware that censorship is happening and still comfortable enough to mention it to the younger generation, you're not really doing a great job at censoring things. In comparison, the events of the Tiananmen Square massacre, for instance, new generations of Chinese have no idea about the massacre at all, because it has been so effectively censored and the citizens are so effectively frightened to say anything about it. It is ironic, certainly, but perhaps not random that there's so much talk of censorship in this game, and then Red Candle's game's second game, Devotion, was effectively censored by the Chinese government, not only in China, but censored to a level around the world by being bullied off of the Steam marketplace. It's not full censorship, not successful censorship, but enough. And enough is often all you need. If you can get 90% of a population to never even know about Devotion, you've probably succeeded in your goal. We received a paper plane. That conversation, for me, toss my worries and receive your guidance. That conversation did come off to me as being particularly creepy. But I don't know anything about Taiwanese society, so I wouldn't be surprised if it is particularly common in the 1960s for teachers to marry their students. Asian countries have some of that happen, certainly. Although I think in general they're frowning upon it more and more. We have another radio station now, 103. So this might be like a pirate radio station or a different time. So I guess we're going to 103, which is way up there. Yeah, and that's probably the last station. So this time, the bed is against the wall in a different orientation. The piggy bank is nowhere to be found. The shirt is in the right orientation, but the cabinet is twisted. And we have a broken mirror. Definitely we have a recurring theme of mirrors and seeing our true self in the mirrors. Let's see. If we turn off the light, we see a man in a hat. Interesting. If we turn off this light, the man in the hat is going the opposite direction. This one, the man in the hat, is totally missing. Each mirror is its own shape. This one, the man in the hat, is missing. I think I kind of understand what's going to happen here is we're going to have to get the pattern so that the man in the hat follows us in the reflection each time. So if he goes the opposite direction, have the mirror on. And probably trying to get all the way to the edge here. Okay. I guess we're still trying to meet the right person in the right time. So he walks that way. He walks that way. He walks that way. And so theoretically, he's either behind this door or just moved on. I may have just done that right the first time. I drew this when I was little. It was always kept even when we moved the furniture around. I don't know what she's clicking on. I guess that's maybe a drawing on the wall. I can barely see it. Definitely there are rooms where she starts to walk slower, and that's making the game longer for no good reason. Also, we are definitely not getting a feel for the house. We've received a coin. Undoubtedly that goes in the piggy bank. Save up for my dreams little by little. There might be something spooky behind all of that. Wait, here we hear sounds. Let's see. The theater's ticket counter. Let's see. That doesn't do anything. The door's shut tight. Okay. Yep. We're jumping around to a lot of different locations now. But no longer are we stuck in the school. Arguably, maybe we should have been jumping around more locations more often. Spending the first 2 acts in the school seems unnecessary. Let's go ahead and put this in here. And I assume put the coin in the piggy bank. That probably does nothing at the moment. But since this is the past, my idea would be that this is further in the future. So now when this is broken, there's something more. We now have a movie ticket. Perfect. It says, actors are lunatics and the audience are fools. Great. We are solving these puzzles fairly quickly, which is what I'd like to see. Because the game is in danger of dragging on at this rate. It kind of feels like what's happened here is, but at the end of the second act, we kind of know the character we're playing is evil. I was not expecting this. And has done some bad things. So backstory and caring about her at this point doesn't really make sense. This is incredibly creepy. The theater's ticker counter. It's locked. Good day and welcome. We hope you enjoy your movie. So we'll probably get even more backstory here, but I'm not sure I care anymore about getting backstory. I'd rather it just end. So she went to the movie with this older teacher and keep an eye on his hands. Because, yes, I definitely think she looks at this as being a romance. Yeah, and she leaned in. Although I'm not going to really blame her for seducing a teacher. The teacher should have known better to never even go down this way. And frankly, he was saying some pretty wooing elements. And now we know where the necklace came from, so we're going potentially full circle as to what happened. Maybe the students recognized that the necklace was a gift from a teacher and were jealous, and maybe that's why the necklace was in the fan to start with, or maybe she threw that in the fan for some reason. That's I guess the big mystery at the moment is what happened. Why was the necklace in the fan to start with? Obviously that was a tutorial puzzle, but I'd like kind of a storyline reason. And it's definitely showing that she was living a fantasy world, thinking that romance could work, and now we're back to something closer to the horror of reality. And creepy guy in a hat saying shh. And this room is all torn up now. There's a note on the floor, search warrant. A search warrant issued by the district court with a list of public officials involved in a bribery scheme. When I went home that day, father had already been taken away. I asked mom what happened. She quietly replied, Dad got his hands dirty, but he'll live. Hearing this, I felt as if she was smiling underneath. So was it the mother who potentially framed the father? Seems like it might be. It's been a long time since we've gotten a clue. The father cheated, the mother hired a PI guy. The PI guy found something else out, potentially in a bribery scheme, and turned him in if he was actually guilty, or she framed him completely, potentially. We now have an assignment book. A reasonable excuse to enter the counseling office. Okay. Yeah, we still don't know what we're going to do with this, and if this is going to end up being a key for something. Go ahead and save our progress here. And I assume this door is still locked, and that's our final exit. I was just off the red dot because this is where I was trying to go, not the save spot. That being said, it has been another hour. I am shocked, really. I only looked at a couple of reviews to try and get a general idea of how long this game was, and I was saying 3 to 5 hours. It feels like we've done 5 hours now, and it definitely feels like there could be more story to happen. We need a little bit more of a wrap up. Best case scenario, if you were going to try and wrap up the story as quickly as possible, the teacher would either jilt her or dump her, and then she would get depressed and kill him or kill herself. Um, Maybe we are done with the mom and father backstory, but it feels like there should be a little bit more resolution there. Um, Feels like we should get back to the school and we should get back to the ghosts, but maybe we just won't ever have that happen. It is very questionable as to what the connecting thread will be for all of this story. It seems like really you have 5 somewhat separate narratives and acts happening, and they don't seem like they're that connected as they should be. Because, yeah, I don't see how maybe the teacher dumping her causes her to turn in all the other people as communists and or shoot up the school and or shoot the teacher, um, and that somehow also connects to the parents, unless she gets dumped, she kills the parents, the mom and maybe the dad, then she goes to school and ends up killing one way or another all the students. Yeah, it would be interesting if this was all just the setup to one horrific event that happens at the end. Effectively, something like a school shooting. Like you spend 5 hours in a game playing as this character for the last cutscene to reveal, oh, it was all working its way up to this, and there was nothing you could do to have stopped it or influenced it. That'd be an interesting story to tell. Maybe not a satisfactory story to tell. Anyways, that's going to be it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want a friend to follow me on any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.